Welcome back to another Aether Gazer video. In this video, I will be guiding you through the chronological timeline of Aether Gazer banner in the CN version. Keep in mind that the global version has a slight chance of it being different, and also each character might not be the same version as they are in the CN version. In this video, I will not talk about regular Pools character, because I will make a separate videos about them just in case I have the early access Vanguard, because I really want to make them in English. I'll talk about the character tier list, what's their role, how well they do, and their pros and cons, because it is impossible to cover everything about them, so I will just give a brief summary based on my experience and based on the CN tier list. Now in CN, each banner lasts a total of 21 days, 3 weeks. Each patch will have 42 days with 2 characters coming out, except for banner number 1. Starting with banner number 1, we have someone voiced by Yui Ishikawa, who also voiced Alpha Lucia, Mikasa, Violet Evergarden, 2B, and Enterprise. She is Tsukuyomi, a limited Thunder banner character, and is the only banner that lasts 14 days, which is the shortest. She belongs to the Shino class and also falls under the Anger Mechanism playstyle, meaning she requires Anger Bar to activate her skill, and the only way to gain them is by basic attack multiple times. Her weapon key allows her to unleash her Hidden Thunder Strike full DPS potential, but I don't want to talk about how to activate this, so we'll talk about it when her banner comes in global. If you truly want a good start in global, then you might want to re-roll for her, and then wish your luck with the weapon key banner. I still use her because she's basically my favorite waifu in the game, and she will do very well early in Time Rush stages. Her only downside is if you build her ultimate thunder range but miss her third skill, you'll have to go through a 15 seconds cooldown and build them all over again. Tsukuyomi has a dress and also an upcoming JK outfit, if I'm not mistaken, during the first year anniversary tease. On release, she's ranked at T0, but now T0.5, but based on my experience, I had to make it lower. She's really just a T1. I use her because I like her, but to be honest, she's not as strong compared to future unit, but older unit is teased to have a strengthening, so maybe she'll eventually catch up with them. Second banner is Yami Osiris, not her official name, but she went through a terrible moment in CN, as her first dress design pointed a big PP, and this really humiliated the game. And they really had to go through twice the remodeling, right? She is a limited character and she is a wind element, and she's the orb based mechanism. She gains orb by using some of her skill, and some of her skill in return requires orb. Her ultimate changes her into the funnel mode, and the great thing about it is that it consumes a separate HP bar, and the moment the separate HP bar ends, you return to your original HP bar. If you build her right, the more you use her ultimate, the higher her max HP bar for the funnel mode. In terms of DPS, Osiris is weaker to Tsukuyomi, but in the future, pairing with THOR, she is stronger. In early stages, she's basically more of a boss survival unit compared to Tsukuyomi. To those who are not really good at dodging, then yeah, Yami Osiris is something that you should go after. But I recommend getting both of them. She is ranked at T1, but in my opinion, she's a 0.5 if paired with THOR. She also has a white dress and another tease during the anniversary livestream, if I remember. And as for her weapon key, I would say only get them if you have a spare money. If you don't, just get them later. Alongside her banner is a ranked shooter Verdante, not the same Verdante. This one has a shield and a different sword. You will get her for free if I'm not mistaken during the event. She's a great unit, but overall, she has an ultimate dual combo with Tsukuyomi. But aside that, I don't think she offers much. She has a very interesting mechanic. The third banner is Dark Star Hela. Sorry to disappoint all of you, but Hela is the only character in the game I do not have, aside from Marduk, mainly because I never thought I would be covering Aether Gazer at that time, and also ranged unit isn't really my favorite type of character. So I can only tell you from the tier list, she's a limited dark character and falls under the God mechanism, which is different from every other mechanism. She is a ranged character able to change herself to cannon mode, and if I'm not mistaken, the more AoE she dealt, the more damage she does. Like if there's a lot of enemy in the AoE, the more damage she does. The downside is that she has insane cooldown, slow mobility, and is better off left to the AI to use, and you use a melee character or support character instead. Aside that, my memory about her is that I don't like using her, but she is a T0 in CN, especially for Time Rush stages that requires a big AoE to clear off big mobs. Is she needed in the team? Definitely not in my opinion, but I've seen a lot of CN players praising her, so you guys are on your own for Darkstar Hela. After Darkstar Hela, we have Hera. Hera is ranked at T0 and is the most broken support character as of now in Aether Gazer CN. She's of course a limited light element character. Her mechanism style is energy, meaning she'll have to wait to gain energy to bar to activate her skill. Having her on your team with her second skill will be able to boost your main DPS in the team. if you're using Tsukuyomi, then by 20 to 50% depending on how much you limit break her. As a solo unit, she is weak but still provides a wonderful AoE attack. Her third skill increases all team members' damage by 14 to 32% depending on how much you max her for 12 seconds. Depending if you limit break her, okay? So she's broken, right? She's really broken. Any mechanism style will not be consumed when used. Example over here, I have Tsukuyomi equipped with her weapon key, and if I activate Hera third skill, and I'm supposed to consume all the rage bar in the normal way, but if I have Hera and activate her third skill within 10 seconds, it will not consume my rage bar. Her weapon key boosts all the teammates during the 0 times space, which is the crack window thingy, by 32% or 80% if max, so highly recommend to get her weapon key. She is still broken, there is still no support unit out there that could match her, so I highly recommend you to get her. Alongside her banner is Hermes A rank, who's just a really good running unit. She's ranked at T2, quite troublesome to play, but overall, most of the A rank in these banners are just having very fun mechanics to play. They're not really stand out. Scotty comes next, and Scotty was released during the summer in CN, and she's basically a battle shape coming out from Azura lane. She is a ice limited character. She falls under the Yggdrasil Pantheon. She's a melee unit. She's ranked at T1, but honestly I would put it at a 1.5. But when her energy bar is filled, she can turn into a jet ski mode where you can just hit and run. And this is a very safe way to play her. This is pretty helpful in freezing enemies as well. But aside that, she's a moderate DPS in my opinion, semi-support. Her weapon key is not recommended, so best you just pick her as a character as a support and a semi-DPS. But she is one of the characters that has the insane character pose. Leviathan is a new water healing standard banner character, but during this time, she will also be a raid out for players who wish to get her. That's right, she will spook you anytime in the future if you miss her out. She's the best healer ranking at T1, there's no one that's way better than her, but in a game like Aether Gazer, DPS is king. Here, you don't really need a healer unless you're not really good at the game, but much could be said. Aether Gazer is working on a multiplayer mode, so I can see that there's a chance that healer could be needed in the game. She also provides damage reduction buff. Her weapon key reduces her healing cooldown. Aside that, I don't think there's a reason to get her unless you really need a healer, you're not really good with it. So yeah, Leviathan is just a healer and a very small scale DPS. Okay, this is a banner that I feel a lot of people shouldn't miss. Hades is a broken T0 limited dark elemental character, and everyone would tell you to pull for her. She has the hottest pose, stretching her memory gland to the core to tighten that nip. Her divine mechanic is very different, which I will make a video on my free time. Otherwise, she uses two puppets called Ryuke and Ming to attack, which honestly, she's a semi-mid to long-range attacker, which makes it great for players who doesn't like close-range combat, because in Aether Gazer, close-range combat can be very flashy and very hard to dodge. Now, upon gaining her token, there's a way to gain them, and once you do, you can unleash a powerful, devastating pop-up barrage that deals such a big DPS that no character can surpass her as of her yet. Hades does not slow down time if you try to trigger a 0 downtime maintenance. My guess is because some of the characters in the game are not from the corporation known as Aether Gazer, so they don't have that effect. But yeah, she's a unit that you should not skip. Her weapon key boosts her barrage significantly, and highly recommend if you like a pure DPS in your team. And honestly, when it comes to DPS, you can basically just pull for Tsukuyomi and then just wait for Hades, and then you're good. She has a elegant dress and also swimsuit for her, and her puppet, I got them both. I mean, I just have puppet fetish. I mean, it's like you're dating three girls. Right after Hades, we have a standard banner character on Raid Up, the Hinokami Kagura Tanjiro. Like I said, I will not talk about 1.0 standard banner character. If you'd like to see the separate videos, do subscribe to the channel to stay tuned. Right after the Hinokami Kagura, we have Shu. It's another standard banner character. She is a thunder unit, so if you miss her, she will spook you. Unlike the normal Shu, this Shu uses double Gaybulk. She ranked at T1 in CN. I play her for quite a few sometimes, and she's not my liking. I'm gonna be honest with you, she's really not my liking. There's probably things I don't know about her, but what I know that she can change in between her thunder mode and wind mode, so she's flexible when it comes to dealing different enemies in a certain stage where they're weak to multiple elements. I have nothing much to say about her. Her kit seems very boring, and she doesn't seem to out DPS Tsukuyomi, so there's no reason to pull for her. In my opinion, I will put her a T 1.5, but it's selfish because since I like experience about her. Next we have Athena. She has the weirdest mechanic known as the audio mechanic. You need to focus on the rhythm but at the same time pay attention to your surrounding. At the same time also do normal attack, I guess. She's a limited physical unit. She does the armpit thing like Yola, so yeah. She buffed team around 20 to 65% damage output if you play her right. I have never touched her. I bench her. She's not my liking because I don't like rhythm game. She's ranked at T1 in CN, a mid-grade DPS, a mid-grade support, and overall that's just what she is. After that, we have a raid up for Light THOR banner, and follow that, we also have the son of Bayonetta, little brother of Sakimoto-kun, Oceanus. Oceanus is a water standard banner unit. Yes, he will spook on you, and he is probably one of my favorite characters to play. He is the definition of be water. He's a melee character, but every time you do this basic attack, he just floats like a water bender, like sting like a butterfly. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. You also have a water clone that plays a very cool mechanic. He doesn't have a 0 time slow-mo when you do a dodge attack, but every time you successfully do one, he does this epic Virgil thing. God, that's sick. He's ranked at T0.5, weapon key recommended if you want more DPS. AI knows how to use him, so you can just slap it on the AI, there's no downside for him. Alongside Oceanus banner, we have a rerun of Tsukuyomi banner. To those who miss your chance, you might be able to pull for Tsukuyomi over here. Marduk looks exactly like that character from Metal Gear Rising. He is a limited physical range type character with a pew pew in his hand. He's generally a side DPS character, pretty much like Hades, but not as strong. Pretty good AoE coverage, so there. He is better in terms of AoE with Hades compared to Hades. Useful in clearing AoE wave. His weapon key is recommended if you want more DPS. I also don't have him, but about to have him very soon. He's okay, I played him during the event. Range type character just ain't my style. He's ranked at T1 in CN. Alongside the banner, we have someone who looks very similar to Utsugi Lenka from God Aether. What's his name again? He's called Kingu. He has a lot of fun mechanic where he uses a chainsaw and spin around. He has a God Art weapon that looks very similar to also God Aether. He's ranked at T2 but pretty much nothing to offer except he's breaking enemy shield very easily with his chainsaw. Soon after that, we have a raid up for a standard banner character, Asura, so we're gonna skip talking about him. Anubis is a melee dark type standard banner character. He's nothing but a dark type character, but Hades is already much more superior than him. If you want more DPS dark melee character, then yeah, you can slap him because sometimes, you know, Hades is used up. He does summon this wolf that makes you feel like you have a fourth party member. Aside that, he's just there, not broken or anything. Alongside him is a A-rank character called Base. I don't know much about her except she's a dark unit. Her opie size is beautiful. She's more of a dark AoE DPS unit, and that's just it. I don't know about her, so I cannot like tell you that I know her, but I think a lot of people love her in the CN because of how hot she is. After both of them, we have another rerun for Hera, and then finally, best partner for Osiris, son of Odin, Vildia of Mjolnir, we have THOR. THOR is a limited melee thunder character. She is fun to play that has a mechanic that draws all the enemy near her and then do some massive AoE damage. Pairing her together with Osiris offers a lot of good DPS. She is more superior and you can clear stages very fast when you have Osiris and THOR. They became the best duo base. But when it comes to solo, Hades is still on top. Her weapon key is recommended if you want more DPS, and that's just it. Ultimate changed her into a gauntlet mode, but it's not that overpowered. It's just a few punch and then you're just back to normal. After that, we have a read up for Ice Poseidon, followed by Osiris together with Sakura. Last but not least, we have the Flame THOR, who is the younger version of the Light THOR, also a Geek Drug Seal. All I could say about this badass dude is that he's an inspiration of Nero. God, this game has a lot of inspiration. He's like an inspiration of Nero from Devil May Cry. He can throw his sword and that sword will follow his enemy to death even if they keep moving until it locked to one position. When he is using his sword and is charged with fist mode, all this bar max, and he does a massive damage and burn damage over time, but in return loses his health if you try to build him high risk, high reward. And every time you throw your sword, he changes his into fist mode and it allows him to regenerate his health. He's a DPS unit weaker than Hades but stronger than all the other units in terms of my experience. I rate his DPS a 8 out of 10 and it comes with a great survivability because, like I mentioned, every time he is in his feast mode, he can regenerate health. I want to point out his initial design is an armor that looks like Alphen from Tales of Arise. I hope they release this as a skin. It looks really amazing. I would definitely buy it. Alongside the radar, we have a double Gaybolt shoe, then Best Puppet Girl and Ninja Girl, and then we enter 2.0. Which we'll talk about it in the future if the game even survives. That's it for now. I wish you understand that all these characters are summarized and based on my experience. There are some content creators out there making these kind of videos as well, so you should check them out. Let me know down in the comment section below which character you're going to be saving for, and which are you going to be saving for meta, or are you going to be saving for tier list, are you going to be saving for just for fun, waifu husband? No, let me know down in the comment section below. And for CN players, if I missed out anything, again, you're welcome to comment down in the comment section below. With everything said and done, hey, it's just a gaming channel.
見落としていらないふりをしてた本当に大事なこと気づいたんだもし君が泣きたいなら僕が抱きしめて笑いかける振り返れば仲間が